Good morning, members, and to our public in the gallery, and for those tuning in on their devices, pursuant to 1 CMC 1603 and the Youth Congress Rules of Procedure, the Chair of the Committee on Education for the 20th CNMI Youth Congress calls this meeting to order. The time is now 10:06, and we will begin with the next order of business. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Monique Mendiola, Marianas High School.
Kaigia.
Senator De La Cruz, Senator Christopher De La Cruz, Mount Carmel. Senator Edward Maratita III, RHI.
Present.
Senator Matthew Salas, Saipan Southern High.
Present.
Mr. Chairman,
Gage.
Mr. Chairman, there are 4 members present, 1 member absent.
Thank you, Clerk. With four members present, a quorum is in order from the committee. I'd like to recognize the presence of the acting speaker, Senator Monique Mendiola, and also Senator Nash Santos, who is attending this meeting as an honorary member. Senator Mendiola is also the vice chair of the committee, so I'd like to introduce you to them. We now move on to item 3. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to adopt today's agenda. The chair recognizes Senator Mendiola.
Thank you, Chair. I move to adopt today's agenda.
Okay, do I hear a second? Do I hear a second? Okay.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt today's agenda. Any discussion? Ready? All right. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay.
Aye.
The motion to adopt today's agenda is adopted. We now move down to item 4, public comments. The floor is now open for any member of the public seated in the gallery to offer comments on today's agenda. Please limit your statements to 5 minutes. And as a reminder, anything stated within your testimony not relating to today's agenda will be removed from the record, and the floor is now open.
Good morning, Youth Congress Speaker, and to the esteemed body. My name is Vincent Semen O'Don, and I am here actually to support your, bill for YCB 20-01. But I'm also here to speak about something that I really do believe that we here in the CNMI is lacking, and it affects the future of our young leaders. And that concern is the impact of AI and the lack of push to ensure that our future has been given the opportunity to actually understand the impact of AI on tomorrow's jobs. And if we do not start pushing that issue today, it will be too late. And another part, the effects of our children not understanding, to be financially literate. Those are the 2 things that I really believe that is going to impact the future, especially when it comes to financial literacy. And the reason why that I say that it is troubling, to me, that we do not have financial literacy is because I firmly believe, and, society has proven that some industries profit from consumers' financial illiteracy, topics that can be politically sensitive. But yet, by not understanding how money works at a young age, by the time you graduate high school, you'll be stepping into the real world where financial literacy is a must. And if you don't understand how to balance your checkbook or understand the good things and the bad things about a credit card, you'll be in a world of hurt. So the sooner that you understand that, the sooner you'll be better off. And with today's technology, you guys are in a better position to actually understand and make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, being literally illiterate on how to understand how financial matters affects your life, you're going to have a lot of issues as we do today. The fact that the industry and society itself, the powers that be, have decided that keeping you financially illiterate is to their benefit. They don't want you to have a strong financial, foundation. And I see like a lot of students today fall, on that predatory lending because they get massive amounts of mail, soliciting for college students to, apply for a credit card, with whatever limit it may be. And when you apply for that credit card, you don't understand the impact that it'll have when you have a 18% interest on it. And then if you max it out, you're probably going to take like 30 years to pay it off, not to include your student loan and whatnot. So I will be proposing a legislation, to ensure that at the state level, that PSS, and voluntary from, private institution to include, financial literacy program for our young children today. I really believe that, it's not just for you to go out there and make money, but to understand how to make money work for you. So you don't have to work, to your old age trying to figure out how to be financially independent. And to me, I believe that life skill will serve you better, in a shorter time frame than compared to us when we didn't know, because we weren't taught. And I would hate to see, the young generation going through the same problems. I think it's high time that all schools start teaching our young children how to earn money, but at the same time, how to make money work for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you please state your name and your position just for the record?
Vincent Semanaudan.
Thank you, Mr. Audan. Any other public comments? If none, public comments. Oh, okay, 1 second. Please state your name and your position, just for the record.
Hafaday. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and this August body. Are there any more members? I mean, they're online, yeah. My name is Liana Sablon Hofschneider. I'm here for myself and also on behalf of Matua Council for Native Chamorro Advancement. This morning, I am, as we speak, I'm supposed to be at a funeral for a very important person of mine, si Tan Luisi Villagomez. And I spent, in fact, I'm one of the lucky ones to spend very quality time hours after she summoned me, to spend time with her and talk about it. And I know everybody wants to, there's a timeline here, but if you could just please bear with me because I had to make this, and I never thought that I'm going to be coming here for this particular agenda on your new business. And with that, I also want to ask you if you can have this referred to your committee so that we can go out and do public hearings, at all the villages and the schools, so we can have a better perspective and factual input on the Prinimeti. When I was at William S. Regis today, it was Chalancano Elementary School. We would come out every Monday morning and do the Prinimeti. And I am the generation at the beginning of the covenant negotiation and upon the signing of the covenant. And at all those events, I remember clearly what were the anthem, including the Prinimeti. I am one of those fortunate ones to leave the island with my brothers to attend school in the United States for high school. Every summer, I come home to spend time with my family. And each summer, I'm always happy to come home. One summer, after college, or during college, I arrived and I couldn't understand what was going on, because I left with a flag that represented me during the decolonization period. And I came home and I'm colonized again. And that's why it's important to go to committees so I can have a better narrative of this statement. And please just bear with me a minute, because I don't have you have your agenda here, but, oh, here, sorry. And this is my testimony. And at the same time, I will also submit during the committees. Prinimeti. Manhula Zufiet, Gipapa Bandirahu, no Timaranas, na Baihu Togui Todu, Inina Sinyahu, para Baihu Protehi Zandefendi, Ihinengi, Hikutura, Ilingwahi, Airi, Hanum, Zanitano, ni Irinshaku, Diretsu, Ginenazustata, para todo, Generación Zamoro. Pago na para todo y tempo. In your findings of purpose, you mentioned established by Article 22. So my question to you, fellow Congress, did you do your research before putting a number as Youth Congress Bill number 20-01 to sanction this as part of your public policy? Because I challenge you to please put in the committee and check for the education during the election, during the Constitutional Convention in 1985, towards the election, and the Board of Elections' responsibility to make sure that we have public education about changing the identity of the decolonized Chamorro, because we were colonized since 1500s, 1521 to be exact, 1668 to 1690 during the Chamorro-Spanish War, and then we were in the process when we signed with the United States in 1975. So we're still in the process. It's been 50 years since we signed the covenant, and we're still in the process. Along those process, things come up that are anti-constitution, anti-international human rights. So my plea to you guys is there's not enough. I see all this. I'm going to share it with you. And I challenge you, please, put it in the committee. Edge of the Empire, this is not my book. Fino Chamorro, this is not my book. The Latte of the Marianas, this is not my book. And in my laptop, which I would really love to share with you guys, are thousands of pages of research. And the most recent one is Anagwan. Do you guys know where Anagwan is? That's the infamous digging, desecration of our Chamorro ancestors, over 1,000 of our ancestors' remains were desecrated, bulldozered because of economic development by foreign investors and made possible by this very august body, the legislature. Without the legislature's approval, Anagwan would have never been dug up, and we won't see that monstrosity, ugly building down there. And 800 of our ancestors will be commemorating their 5th year since their reinternment in that piece of concrete that is over in, right there at the backside. And I challenge you guys to go see it, if that is justice, right? So there's many stories. So in this book, I'm gonna ask you guys, have you seen this? Carolinian English Dictionary? And I'm pretty sure you haven't. In this very dictionary, because in here, and I will not challenge myself to try to understand your writings, in here, in your B part, page 3, line 11, and it says Acapult. And it goes all the way down, and it reads, and I'm going to assume that it's saying the translation of the Chamorro Prinimeti. But in this Carolinian English Dictionary, it says that the Chamorros are also called Remorales, which for me, unlike others, I find it very comforting because I did my research and I found out what re means and morales. And morales is a Spanish word for civilized, moral. But on page 4, number 3, it says repagaloash. But some of you guys are saying, I'm not all of you guys, some, refaloash. Where did the refaloash word came from? I found it in here, and it says, re means people, falu land, right? And it's the same as faluash, means refaluash is also faluash, which is the people and the land. And it says in here, land, verbatim, comma, Saipan, quote unquote, our land. So if the refaluash is saying that land, Saipan, quote unquote, our land, then what about the Chamorros? You know how old those people at Anagwan, those Chamorros? And they're Chamorros. Their DNA have been done already by Harvard and Reich University in Austria. It's a partnership. That the DNA of the Chamorros today and that 1,000-year-old woman is the same. I'm not here to talk about that. That's something I impart on you guys to please have sessions, have meetings, have community involvement. And I know I can see some of the, my time. But also, in this particular book, it says there's 3, refaloash, repagaloash, and reshuk. So which of your part B are you speaking about? Because there's documents out there, archaeological documents, academic documents, they're all research documents, that actually spoke about all of these Micronesian region, right? And Caroline Islands, you have to find out why Caroline Islands is named, which is today Federal States of Micronesia, and why we are Mariana Islands and not Goni, right? And why do we have to not call that Anagwan, right? Or up here, Idoni? Or some of you, Mr. Speaker, I think you're at Grace Christian. Why is it Navy Hill and not Panagonam? And there's a huge Chamorro sediment site there next to your school. So I want to close I don't want to take all of your time, but I beg you, young leaders, because I remembered during my time here at the legislature as the legislative assistant staff, forming the first youth congress. I had to fly to Tinian Road and convince the high school students, including your school, to have Marianas High School. So we formed the first Youth Congress, and I was very blessed to be given that role by the leadership here many moons ago to do that. But it is my wish to come before you again, when I came before you, to talk about the environment. Because the environment, we are the 6th highest cancer rate per capita, according to the Center for Disease Control. Why is that? This is the playground for World War II. And colonial power during the Japanese administration, where they fortified all these places, they you know, we have the so-called Sugar King Park, you know, and that's not the place name. So we need to talk about that, right? So please, I beg you, you guys are very young leaders. The noise of today shouldn't lead you. You guys are smart, you're technology driven, you know, and you deserve better representation, not be led by misinformation. Because last session here, a certain congresswoman introduced about the NOAA. You know what's there about NOAA? That resolution that Madam Congresswoman Denita Kaipayangtama introduced? About the seamount, the floor, the ocean floor. It's $1 trillion, but never mind the money. It's our resources. Manganese nodules, titanium, gas, you know. And I know, I'm going to close right now, thank you.
Thank you.
So, por favor, you know, please, let's talk about what our marine monument, all the federal government, all the researchers, the Exploration Trust is doing, the Oceanographic Exploration Trust is doing. And we need to understand that. This is your role, this is your responsibility for your future generation, for your children. And I'm going to be looking forward to talk about the environment again. I'm going to ask again. I came here last year, you know, for the environment, and I want to come again, and let's talk about the environment, because there's a lot of sick people, and your children will too. You know, I hate to say this, or maybe yourself. My husband is a cancer survivor, 4 cancers, 3 stage 4, 1 stage 2. There he is. And the health system is messed up. We are being discriminated. So I'm not here for that, but please, you know, I want to be part of your team to put good public policy. During my time, we made a lot of good public policy to protect the environment, you know, like no more plastic. Your dad did it, but we should make it a state policy. It shouldn't be a Taza, whatever, back Tuesday, a Joten. It should be a permanent law because our landfills are filling up. Sizus Masi, as a Talu, Malaguzo Pabifaisin, and so I want to ask you, I want to plead with you to please, let's talk about all of your bills, including the last one on the language, because that resolution in itself and this is discriminatory. And I am actually in the process of actually looking for an international lawyer to sue the CNMI government for mishandling our resources and our heritage. Sizus Masi.
Thank you, Sizus Masi. Ms. Hofschneider. Any other under public comments? The podium is open. Please also state your name and position, just for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Felix Nogis. I'm here on behalf of Carolinian Affairs. I want to thank this committee for supporting my request to make the correction on the public law. The amendment to the law itself is in regards to the issue of repaguluars to be included when I noticed that there's some version that was deleted. For one thing, the word itself, refaluars and repaguluars, is kind of synonymous. It means the same thing. Secondly, our kids at school has recited the pledge without reading. So that's why I stand before you to please consider making the amendment. Thank you very much, and thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you, Resident Executive Nogis. Any other under public comment? The podium is open. Again, please state your name and your...
Hafrez Tiro. My name is Melanie T. Wenyu from Indigenous Affairs Office. I am here in support of your lie. Primimeti Jani Akapal. Yes, we do need to emphasize and teach our students more of Primineti Jani Ofag Ifinugupalo no Akapal. So we need to more emphasize and let more our community, understand, what are Primineti Jani Akapal, as you guys are, for the law, and the Office of Indigenous Affairs is here to support in your bill and let our people also know what is the status and what is the meaning of your bill. And that's it. Thank you. Again, my name is Melanie T. Wenyu. I'm a program manager for the Indigenous Affairs Office.
Okay, Jesus Masi, Ms. Wenyo. Any others who want to make public comment?
Good morning, Chairman, Senators, both in the galley and joining us online. It's pretty obvious that this is a very sensitive issue in many areas. You have many offices representing different peoples within our community and our Marianas. But the end result is, and the goal for each of these offices should always be a unified approach. We've existed and coexisted long for each of our peoples to be intertwined, and you can't undo that. However, when you talk about the allegiance, you're talking about our flag. You're talking about our love and our pride for that. Now, I understand and I feel and I empathize with many of the leaders in the galley because they come with a expertise, they come with a passion, they come with a resolve. And I can respect that, and that's our job, is to respect everyone's sentiment, everyone's view, whether it be for or against a particular legislation. But our job is to be as transparent and as fair. Many of our history books have been written by either the powers of hands that may be, because we weren't equipped enough to write our own. So whatever we take from illustrations or documents that were provided by higher powers. And we take that information and we make the assumption that it's supposed to be that way. But once again, you're in a position to truly dissect that, do your research, ask the hard questions, and really get to what's the real purpose. And for me, the real purpose is the allegiance, the honor, the love that we have for our flag, our Marianas. So while this is a very controversial bill, I have to give credit to the Young Youth Congress for introducing a piece that may be controversial to a lot of people. Because the discussion through the years have always been the Refalawash, the Chamorro, who came first, why is it like this? So many things, right? But our parents and our grandparents have taught us one thing, is that we love and we respect each other. It doesn't matter if you're Refalawash or if you're Chamorro. And this bill should really concentrate on those things. Now, I know we have to sing our anthem in 2 languages, and for whatever reason, it's there. That's okay. But if we have been long intertwined and long coexisted for many years, then we really don't need to say it 2 times. We can say it once. And we can look at all of this language, the interpretation, and incorporate that. Because really, when you have to say it twice, my question is, why? When at the end of the day, we're here for one purpose, to be unified as one Marianas, to understand our history, and to debate not what is meant to be, but to debate what is an unjust. So I don't know what that means to a lot of people here, but we gotta go backwards, right? Understand the history, understand the representation, understand why, and ask the questions. You've got your Manamkus here. You've got a resource of Manamkus at the Manamku Center. You have educators that are experts in this endeavor. Ask the questions, document that, because you can now have proper documentation that you as a youth congress went out to take and extract from our community. That would be your contribution to updating history, updating language, or whatever that is. But at the end of the day, it's a tough legislation. I give you guys all my support, and my office is there if you need it. But really ask the hard questions. What is the end result going to accomplish? And if it is about language, or if it's about a pride to the Marianas and to our flag, then those pose different questions, and absolutely both will have different answers. But you have to ask the tough questions. So while I sit here and I stand before you, I have to congratulate you for taking on a very difficult job, because we know even as older legislators, this is a very sensitive issue, because it feels disjointed, but when the end result is really unification. But how do we get there when we have a divide already that's been long existent way before us, right? And now here you are trying to bring people together, bring this love for your Marianas and the love for the flag back. So these are all your people at your disposal. You have many people that support it for various reasons. You have people that don't support it for various reasons, but that's where you come in. Collect the information, disseminate it within your peers, within us, and let us work together to fix, enhance, and maybe make it better, because we all deserve what is just and what's right, including you as young leaders. So I'm not here to say that it's a bad bill or that it's a good bill. I'm here to acknowledge the fact that I also love my flag, and that I respect my Marianas, and I love my Marianas deeply. And the flag is a representation of that and ask the tough questions. And if you need any of us here, I'm pretty sure that Ms. Hofschneider, your mom, the Commissioner of Education, Mr. Nogues, Ms. Melanie, these are all people that have been here way before us, and they can direct you into a positive outcome that unifies people at the end of the day, because that's what our flag does. It's supposed to be a unified voice, because everything on that flag represents us at the end of the day. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, Sisus Masi, Congresswoman Flores. The public comments are still open. Anybody else want to go up and mention their public comments? But also, if you want to submit your statements to the committee, or please submit it to the Sergeant at Arms. Thank you. Any other public comment? Again, please state your name and position.
Good morning. I'm Lawrence Camacho, Commissioner of Education, and I just want to say just a very brief brief remark here, and that is to commend you, to congratulate you, to encourage you, and to inform you that I fully would like to be there in support of your endeavor to continue on this mission that you have, which is to envision what future could be for all of us. And I want to let you know that I am just one part of a grand, beautiful community. And as a part of that grand, beautiful community, I want to contribute my time and effort to, again, help you craft what you envision the future could be. You are the next generation, and you're already starting to be the leadership for our Commonwealth. And you're going to continue to help solve the problems that we have in our Commonwealth. And you will continue to figure out ways to design the future of this Commonwealth. And as you do that, you reflect, and I again want to acknowledge and commend you for your hard work, because a lot of this, as Brady mentioned earlier, is not easy. It's not an easy task, but we're right there with you in support of what it is that you would like to see in the end. So with that, I again want to kind of come up here and just congratulate you, commend you, encourage you, and inform you that we are in full support of what it is that you're trying to do, and we'll be there to help and guide you in the best direction that we could possibly do, because the future belongs to not me or I think my generation. It really belongs to those that come in your generation and then generations after you. So we're right there to be helpful as much as we can. So thank you for the time, and move on and continue mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Komatsu. Any other public comments? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Rizalina Liwag, the Senior Director for the Curriculum and Instructions for the Sinamay Public School System. So I'm just here to ask you to really have that some reflection on the information that I would like to provide, which you can Google it anytime. So this information shows that in the Philippines, there's 183 live languages. And with that languages, there's only one as serves as the national language, which is the Filipino language. It's given to the public schools and private schools in the Philippines as a Filipino language course. In China, there are 300 languages, yet the standard language, official national language, is Mandarin. In Japan, there are several languages, 3 main languages, yet Nihongo is the national language. So think deeply, have some reflection, and have conversations while making decisions as young leaders, because the decision that you're going to make today surely will impact the future generations and the future community of the CNMI. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Liwag. Any other public comments? Okay. Should, okay. Thank you.
Relax ito. Sa di pareho si Senate President Mendiola, dulog Senate. Vidas Tinoy. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Mr. Speaker and members of this Youth Congress, I have to take my shades off because just to laugh a little bit, and it's good to laugh before we start serious discussion like what you guys, not what your honorable body is proposing. So I have to take my shades off because one judge told me to take off my shades when I was in court. Mr. Schneider, take off your shade. So I said, well, I didn't know that. So just with respect for you, all of you here. Zeus Masi, thank you for allowing me to speak, Mr. Speaker. Is this on? Oh. Mr. Speaker, Yumu, right? Nice to see you again. It's been a long time. I think last year I was here. And who's the representative from Tinian?
Senator Cruz, Jaira Cruz. She's not in the committee.
But is she listening or no? No, I believe that for me to speak for this honorable committee, the Youth Congress, it's important that a representative from Tinian. That's why I would like to defer this decision, what you're doing today, if you're going to make a decision, until the representative from Tinian will be available. Because I grew up in Tinian. I was born here at the college now, Dr. Torres Hospital, because there's no hospital in Tinian. And when I was born, there's no Freedom Mirrors, Tarmaranas, or we rode on the LCU, the M-boat, the one that you see down in the harbor down next to Charlie Dock, that coming in from Tinian. That's our transportation to come to Saipan. My mom and others, my grandmother, when they have to deliver or emergency, they have to ride to go up here to Dr. Torres Hospital. So as you can see, my job here is to transfer what's in my mind and in my heart. But the good congressman, one of my best friends for many, many years, we went to university together in a different university in Honolulu, Hawaii. We challenge each other in basketball. He's a good basketball player, but I got to work out so I can challenge him in the future. I grew up in Tinian, and Tinian is a little absolutely different from Saipan. And of course, Luta is absolutely different from here, and Tinian. To talk about changing the Constitution to address cultural practices, values, or beliefs or philosophies, and I want to welcome the educators here and others. It's a very sensitive issue. And in my past experience, I worked here at the Legislative Bureau many years ago after going to school. It's a memorable experience. In fact, the Youth Congress, I was sharing to the good Congressman Rangamar, then my wife, Ms. Schneider, sorry, professionally I have to address her by her name. She started Youth Congress, and the author of that, and she's still alive, Congresswoman, former Congresswoman from Precinct 1, Ana Atalik Sablan de Reguedo. And she started this, so she's the one organized this, and it's amazing how it turned out. But let me get back to your resolution, or a bill for an act. YCB number 20-01. You know, when I grew up in Tinian, I will share my history. We came from Yap after World War II. My father, my mother, and all that came from Yap after the war, they spoke a Carolinian or Micronesian language, but their primary language is English. I mean, Chamorro. At that time, their second language is that Micronesian language or Carolinian language from Yap, you know. And I assure others that they honor the flag to understand, and I truly understand that, and I support that, to honor your flag. But what's in the flag and what's in the national anthem and what's in the what you are trying to amend the law that others support and I oppose it, is to change the cultural makeup of the island. The language that my parents spoke down there and other families that migrated in 1947 is totally different from the language that is spoken here because of migration. And colonialism, all of you are educated, is a word, it means to suppress. As of today, even now, if you look at Congresswoman-elect, Delegate King Kimberly Hines, she cannot speak in front of the United States full House of the House of Representatives to deliberate that big, beautiful bill. All the delegates from American Samoa and other places like Guam, they had to, I call them parking lot, it's my joke, parking lot congressmen, because they don't vote inside the main, only subcommittees.
Dispenser, Mr. Hofschneider,
So-
please remind you to stick to the agenda. Sorry.
The agenda, Mr. Speaker, I know you're smart, and I'll tell you what nexus means. What I'm talking about, what's happening in Washington, D.C. and what's here is directly linked. It's colonization, and this one is you're riding in a colonization bill. Continuation. My dad, who is the Hofschneiders, his grandfather is pure German. That's why my last name is Hofschneider. He speaks 7 languages. He worked on the, the Moroscope in a big German company in Yap. His mom is from Gagio, Yap, the main island of Yap, and Congresswoman Kapa Yangtemais lived in that place, in that area in main island of Yap, the Stone Money. And my father always speak the word Mogothin. Mogothin means, in the Caroline Islands, it means that island, particular island, main island of Yap, where the Stone Money is, means, how are you? Welcome. Same as Hafade. And I don't speak other language. And my understanding, Stiro, is to confuse what it meant. But, see, under federal law, there's a federal law that discriminates. Under the Constitution of the United States, equal protection under the law, and the Sinai Constitution does not protect me. You know? It does not protect me. So, this bill protects other Carolinians. But I identify myself as a Chamorro because I grew up, my mother is Chamorro. The Adrano family in Tinian and the Antalan family, and they all spoke Yapese, different from here. You know? So the word Carolinian, we have to know what it meant, because I worked in the 1985 Constitutional Convention, and I saw Congresswoman Yangtemai's dad. I saw how they deliberate. It's all political nature in there. I met the still alive Mr. Guerrero, the president of the Constitution, when they changed this. So it's a political decision in 1985, and see what happened. It's a chaos. And the question is, the key question is, who is indigenous here in the Mariana Island? I don't think we have really settled that question, because others are claiming they're indigenous here. And there's a word called Aboriginal, natives and indigenous. Western nations have colonized all over the world, including the Mariana Islands and Micronesia. Native, I believe, is used in America. Aboriginal and indigenous, I believe they use in Canada and Australia and other Western nations that colonize. So we have to come up with this word. And I'm very disappointed with the Executive Director Luella Marciano that they support this bill. In fact, where's the Chamorros when we've lived here for thousands of years? Where's our office? So as far as I'm concerned, there's no office. See, the representative from Indigenous Affairs and the Carolinian Affairs, I want to make it clear that Mr. Nogis last year told me I was racist. How can I be racist in public when I'm defending my heritage, my Chamorro and my Yapis? Because I hang around with my dad, and every time they have a social gathering, they will talk Yapis language, a lot of them. So what you're doing here is when you amend this, you're discriminating the Chamorros who have Yapis blood from Yap, the Stone Money. The Hofschneiders, the Adriano, the Antalan, the Villagomes. So how can you suppress their cultural values instead of funding our government? And I plead the Youth Congress because you're the next generation of leaders. Instead of funding money to teach the Yapi Stone Money culture down in Tinian, you're telling us in Tinian to suppress, to make it mandatory for other Micronesian or Carolinian, they're synonymous, instead of learning that language. And most of all, I'm discriminated because I'm Chamorro. I was born and raised as a Chamorro. My mom is Chamorro, you know.
So,
my dad is half Chamorro. So
sorry, I respectfully ask to just wrap up your statement, please.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for being respectful, because I just want to say this in public. Before I wrap up, give me 1 minute here. I was up there last week to testify against the 29 million, and this has to do with indigenous culture and natural resources. The Chamorro's natural resources. You know, MPLT, the 29 million is ours. Mr. Senate President Mindiola is very rude, and thank you for allowing me. You're very with diplomacy and respectful. And the bottom line here is, the question is, who is indigenous? And that's the question, because all of you are students here. And before we begin and hold everything that has to do with cultural suppression, because this is a continuation of cultural suppression. And don't be a part of it, because I believe in at the end of the day, we all sleep here. Mr. Speaker, Jesus Masi, you have a tough job. And my name is Richard Untalan Hofschneider. I'm the advisor for the Matua Council for Native Chamorro Advancement, and I'm a consultant under LRI Research and Consulting for many, many years, doing legislative work and public policy. So, but for what? Defer this and go out to the public, go to Rota, go to Tinian, talk to the people, talk to the Chamorro people, and ask them, because not only a lot of Chamorros have Palawan descendants, a lot of Chamorros have Panapayan descendants, Crossayan descendants, and so forth. Jesus Masi, and
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jesus Masi, Mr. Hofschneider. Again, if you want to submit a written statement, please give it to the Sergeant at Arms. And just for clarification and for the record, I'm the floor leader of the Youth Congress and the chairman of the Committee of Education.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Dispensa. Then lastly, we would like to respectfully request, and I would like to do this in the House. I talked to one congressman and in the Senate. Please bring us in, so I don't have to be told 5 minutes, 10 minutes, delete that. I want to talk openly and back and forth. We have set a time for all the youth congress so we can talk about what we're saying, because we didn't say this just last week or last year. We've been doing this for 20 years or more. Jesus Masi.
Jesus Masi, Mr. Hofschneider. Any other public comments? Okay. If there's no more public comments are now closed, and the chair calls a quick recess. segment, Mount Carmel Senator Christopher De La Cruz walked in, so just to the clerk to recognize Senator De La Cruz as present. We now move to item 5, new business. We have one item under item 5, and at this time, the chair would like to introduce our first item under new business, which is Youth Congress Bill 20-01 to establish the Prinimeti and Akapal as the official pledge to the CNMI flag, honoring both the official languages and cultures of our Commonwealth and for other purposes. So, this bill was referred to us during our first regular session by our speaker. And I am the primary mover of this bill, and to further elaborate more on the purpose of this bill. But today, the committee, we will decide on whether we're gonna decide to table the bill for now. So we have received the comments of the public by our educators, by our activists, by our legislators, and we will take into consideration every single comment that was submitted today. And so I'd like to thank everybody for coming, Resident Executive Carolinian Affairs Office and the Indigenous Affairs Office. Thank you for coming out and submitting your comments. Just for the record, we will be having meetings with several of the public just to address these concerns and the comments, including PSS and those who are willing or those who want to discuss this bill with the committee. Every statement that was submitted today will be taken into very close consideration, and we are doing our best for the youth and for the Commonwealth, for the greater good, for our culture, for our island. So thank you everybody for coming out to submit your comments, and again, we will take your comments and your concerns with very much consideration. Any members want to discuss? Recognize Senator De La Cruz.
So I'm Senator De La Cruz. I'm a little late here, but just want to say I support Senator Yumo's decision to table it. We just want to get a little bit more and like better information to discuss the topics that were brought up today, and we want to do it in a more formal, like direct, like person-to-person manner than a meeting like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator De La Cruz. The chair now entertains a motion to table the bill. Recognize Senator Mendiola.
I move to table this bill pending further review and comments.
Second.
All right, it was moved and seconded to table the bill. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is tabled. Thank you, members. We move down to announcements. Are there any announcements from the members? There are none. So I'll just announce that again, we will be meeting with the public, and we will take your concerns for those who have their concerns or comments into close consideration. Thank you so much to everybody who came out today and submitted your comments. Thank you for performing exercising your duty to have your voices heard. It's not only in the ballots where your voices can be heard, it's up here. Thank you everybody for coming up and submitting your comments or saying your comments to us. Thank you, members. And with all items of business addressed in today's agenda, the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn this committee meeting. Do I hear a motion?
Chair, I move to
Recognize.
adjourn this meeting, today's meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. Any discussion on the motion? Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Thank you. All those in favor of the motions, please say aye.
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 All those opposed
Aye.
say nay. The motion carries. This meeting is adjourned at 11:33 a.m. Thank you again to the public.